I know the question's going to come up. Tell us the differences, if you don't mind, just sort of lavishing us with a few stories. Tell us your thoughts on the ME-109 and compared to the Spitfire and the Hurricane and everything else that you've flown over the years.
Well, I'm almost embarrassed to say the Spitfire is probably the easiest to fly tail dragger, short of an extra 300 that's high performance, you could ever find. It is just a 100-hour pilot could go out and do some real war damage with this thing. The 109 was an expert-only aircraft, and if you had an expert in both, it's my contention after flying them both that the 109 would hand it to just about anything.
No kidding.
After flying with other things. It climbed like a Sukhoi. It got off the ground in no time. Huge deck angle, steep deck angle. It felt like an armored extra 300. It had really razor sharp ailerons under 200 miles an hour. So if you're climbing and turning, it was awesome. And the seating position to me, reclined with my feet up for G tolerance. I loved that airplane. It was so charismatic. The only problem with it was the takeoffs would challenge even the best ace. I think the average ace wrecked about 6 of them in landing and takeoff accidents.
No
and so
kidding.
How about me? I don't have some coach standing there. All I had was Oscar Bosch eating dinner with him twice to do my checkout, really. That was it.
Wow.
So I thought if he wanted to kill one more American, here was his chance. And so on my first flight, there you go. But it was a handful on takeoff. It really only handed it to me once. So the rest of the time, the landings weren't bad. It was like a Pitts and landing. And in fact, probably the best trainer for 109 would be a Pitts.
I don't think I've ever heard that.
My thought was.
Okay. But as far as the flying characteristics, I think you've sort of echoed what everybody said that he's flown the big three. Is that the 109 is truly one of the most nimble aircraft of World War II.
It's small and compact. It's hard to see. It's not a good airplane to fly wing in formation with because the propeller has an electric control manually changing pitch with every attitude and change, and it can be daunting for the first 10 hours to fly wing. So here you are adding throttle and decreasing RPM, and you've got 2 dimensions, and it takes a while to get the hang of it. But as soon as you do, it's like you have a whole other engine in your pocket.
Oh, wow.
It really adds the power.
Wow. We're talking with Rick Volker.
And the other thing is...
Let me get this in real fast. I want to get this caller back. We had a caller that tried to call in tonight, and I apologize. Just turn your speakers down if you want to call back. But we're talking with Rick Volker. He's with the Harvard Extreme Airshow routine. He flies a T6, a Harvard, and puts it through some very, very unique maneuvers. And I didn't mean to cut you off there, Rick, but wanted to get our number out again. It's 478-787-4768. No matter where you're listening in the world tonight, you can call and join the conversation via Skype. It's just the username is Warbird Radio. It's that easy. Or you can send us an email tonight at matt, M-A-T-T, at warbirdradio.com. Rick, back to you. I didn't mean to cut you off there, but give us the rest of that thought there if you still have it.
Well, I had another thought that the winners of wars write the history books, and that includes their test pilots. So the 109 was often reported to not be able to keep turning with the Hurricane and Spitfire, but I had a little dogfighting routine with a Hurricane and pushed it quite a bit, and I found I could always stay with a Hurricane.
Tell us about the Hurricane.
In fact, I could run away and hide from them too.
Well, tell us about the Hurricane. I know you've flown the Hurricane a little bit. What did you think of it? We don't ever talk about it, but what was your thoughts?
It's very much like a T6 with some quirky couplings of pitch and ailerons, so that if you hit the left aileron really fast, the plane goes down in pitch and it really catches you off guard. And you put the canopy down, the plane descends, and it's just it has some very strange things. The elevator's blanked out if you've got the power off for a short field landing, and you go to rotate, and there's nothing there, and you bounce 12 feet high.
Oh, that's horrible.
But it's a fun plane. It's lots of quirks. It very good slow speed stability. You can imagine having 8 machine guns in the wing, and what a stable gun platform it must have been.
Typical British design.
It feels very much like the P-40 that I flew.
Okay. Let's go to the caller here. We have a caller holding. Caller, good evening. You're on the air. Who is this?